America, bonjour, hi, Canada, it's Hugh Hewitt. Monday, January the 25th. The rundown is the Super Bowl is going to be terrific. It's going to be Tom Brady versus Mahomes. It's the number one and number three teams in the league. Of course, if we'd had an officiating crew at the Browns-Chiefs game, it would be the Buccaneers and the Browns, but I digress. I want to begin today because one of the great things about having a radio show is that you get to rise in defense of your friends when they are slandered. And my friend Senator Tom Cotton was slandered on Friday by the left-wing website Salon. Now, you may never have heard of Salon because it is not widely read and its bylines are not known to people. But nevertheless, it put out a hit piece, a smear, suggesting that Tom Cotton claimed he had served in the Ranger Regiment. Senator Cotton is a Ranger School graduate and served in combat with the 101st Airborne. He has never claimed to have been in the Ranger Regiment. Now, I have interviewed Senator Cotton almost weekly from 2012 and maybe from 2011 on. So you do the math. That's about 300 to 400 times that Senator Cotton, when he has been on this show, he was on this show as Congressman Cotton, and he was on this show as candidate Cotton. He's a good friend. I like to joke, I knew him when he was just a tall guy at the 2012 convention in Tampa Bay that nobody knew. And he's a good friend, and he's a great American. And a graduate of Harvard College, he was in Harvard Law School when 9/11 happened, and he made arrangements to join the Army and to seek combat leadership at the platoon level. He did not want to be a JAG. And the many times he's told his story, when I have pressed him for the benefit of new audience, new affiliates being added to the Hugh Hewitt Show every week, he has always said the same thing. I left Harvard Law, finished my commitment to clerking, joined the Army on the condition that I would be trained as a combat officer. I am a Ranger, having graduated from Ranger School, or sometimes he'll just say, I am a Ranger, and I deployed to Iraq with the 101st, and then did a tour back in the United States with the Old Guard, and also did a tour in Afghanistan. I can't remember the unit. He has never claimed to be in the Ranger Regiment. Now, the, quote, reporter at Salon is clearly not very familiar with military terms. Now, this is a dangerous area for civilians. I'm very careful when I talk about this because I know what I don't know. But I know that while every member of the Ranger Regiment, the 75th Ranger Regiment, every member of the Ranger Regiment is a Ranger, I also know that not every Ranger has served with the Ranger Regiment. Ranger goes with the tab. And the tab goes to people who graduate from the legendary Ranger School. So I would guess, I asked an Army officer this weekend, what percentage of 101st Airborne, given its elite status within the Army, what percentage of its officers are Rangers, do you think? And the answer came back, I would guess 80%. I don't know that, that's a guess. But the fact is, you are a Ranger when you graduate from Ranger School. General Scott Miller, who previously served in the Ranger Regiment, 4-star commander in Afghanistan, also a member of Delta Force, he commanded the Joint Special Operations Command, quote, you'll leave Victory Pond today with a small piece of cloth on your shoulder. But more importantly, you carry the title Ranger from here on out. When this controversy arose, and it's not really a controversy, it's a hit piece, but it really did tick off a lot of people. Sergeant Major Rick Merritt said, it's unfair, it's almost slanderous. Cotton's 100% a Ranger, he will always be a Ranger. Rick Merritt was the regimental sergeant major for the Ranger Regiment, served in numerous positions throughout his career. General Tony Thomas on Twitter, this was my favorite response, to a Democratic congressman who is also a Ranger, but who served in the 75th Regiment. and therefore wore the Ranger beret, had dogged Cotton, saying, if you haven't read the beret, you're not a Ranger. If you have not worn the beret, you are not a Ranger. And that, of course, insults every Ranger out there who did not serve in the 75th Ranger Regiment. And General Tony Thomas blasted this Democratic congressman, saying, this is a dumb debate. And he said parenthetically, I feel pretty qualified to say that. Need you to focus on more important things for the good of the nation. You and Cotton get together and work like Ranger buddies. Again, former JSOC commander, Southern Command commander, held multiple positions in the Ranger Regiment. Now, Salon, despite leading the smear against Senator Cotton, has themselves described female Ranger School graduates as the first female U.S. Army Rangers, which they are. But it is inconsistent internally with the website's editorial standards, including one of Salon's journalists' bio described himself as a Ranger correctly because he graduated from Ranger School just like Tom Cotton. Yahoo News describes soldiers graduating Ranger schools as Rangers, as does NBC, NPR, Business Insider, Time, Fox News, Fortune, CNN, The Guardian, Wall Street Journal. I've always understood, and whenever Senator Cotton's been on the show, he said, well, I went to Harvard Law. I'm a Ranger. I went to Iraq with the 101st, was a platoon leader, served in the old guard. He wrote the book Sacred Duty, which is a very fine book. He has never claimed to be in the Ranger Regiment. And that would be wrong if he had. That would be adding to your record. He's been accused by left-wing nutters on the web of the very insidious practice of stolen valor. And there are some members of Congress, I will not mention them, who have engaged in stolen valor, but not Tom Cotton. Straight shooter Tom Cotton. The bio he has used. Tom served nearly 5 years on active duty in the United States Army as an infantry officer. Tom served in Iraq with the 101st Airborne and in Afghanistan with the Provincial Reconstruction Team. Between his 2 combat tours, Tom served with the Old Guard at Arlington National Cemetery. Tom's military decorations include the Bronze Star, Combat Infantry Badge, and Ranger Tab. On this show, he said, I'm a Ranger. I served in Iraq with the 101st Airborne. I served in Afghanistan. In his book, Sacred Duty, Tom Cotton says, I'm a United States Senator from Arkansas. He served in Iraq with the 101st Airborne Division and in Afghanistan with the Provincial Reconstruction Team. Between combat tours, he served with the United States Army's 3rd Infantry Regiment, that's the Old Guard, which we've talked about at length on this show. His military decorations include the Bronze Star and Combat Infantry Badge and the Ranger Tab. He served 1 term in the House before election to Senate. He's a graduate of Harvard College and Harvard Law School. He's married to Anna. He has 2 sons, Gabriel and Daniel. Bottom line, the left wing, through a quote reporter, fabricated a new standard that you have to be in the Ranger 75th Regiment to call yourself a Ranger, and then accused Cotton of fabricating his Ranger status when Cotton had never claimed to serve in the Ranger Regiment. Made it clear he fought with the 101st Airborne, emphasis on fought, platoon leadership in the surge in Baghdad. It is a slander. And I think it's because the, quote, reporter is stupid and does not understand that you are a Ranger when you come out of Ranger School. And if you have any other questions about it, go look up the Ranger Hall of Fame and see that eligibility is for Rangers, who it's run by the U.S. Army Ranger Association. And it says, look, you've got to have either served in the 75th, another Ranger unit, or graduate from U.S. Army Ranger School. Because that is the truth. Salon, publish a retraction, you hacks. I'll be right back on the Hugh Hewitt Show.